Good morning students. Today is your practical class and the name of practical is General Physical Examination of the Patient. A good clinical examination requires a cooperative subject and a quiet, warm and well lighted room. It includes general physical examination, that is examination of general status of the patient, and detailed examination of different systemic examination. Prerequisites for clinical examination. The following conditions should be fulfilled before the start of any clinical examination. Presence of natural sunlight. Daylight is better than artificial light because the latter may mask change in skin color. Every attempt should be made to reassure and relax the subject. Ideally, a relative or a female attendant should be present when a male doctor examines a female subject. This is essential both to reassure the subject and to protect the doctor from subsequent accusation of important conduct. Complete exposure of the body parts to be examined of the subject. Always stand on the right hand side of the subject. It helps for a right-handed doctor, especially when the physical examination of the subject begins. The general physical examination is the minimum necessary requirement before any systemic examination is to be carried out in the subject. This provides much useful information which serve to remind the doctor of any omission, such as routine form of examination has to modified according to the need of the subject. For example, a complete examination of the respiratory system in a patient with breathing sound and symptoms. This kind of examination should be carried out as a gentle as possible. During the performance of the general physical examination, the following points should be observed. That is the general appearance, intelligence, mental and emotional status, speech and expression, and skin. First one is pallor. As a rule, it is caused by a condition of the anemia. The pallor of skin, mucous membrane of the mouth, conjunctiva and crease of palm give a better indication of anemia than skin color, which is because anemia is to be judged by the color of the blood rather than that of the subject. Yellowness. The yellowness discoloration of the skin may be due to jaundice, hyperkeratinemia and tobacco stain. The first site where jaundice is clinically detected is the sclera. Cyanosis. The bluish discoloration of skin and or mucous membrane due to presence of at least 5 grams of reduced hemoglobin per 100 ml of blood in the capillary is called cyanosis. This is commonly seen at site where the skin is thin, that is example, mucous membrane of the under surface of the tongue, tips, earlobes, nail beds and tip of the nose. Temperature. When you take the temperature, remember the following points. The thermometer must be accurate and must be kept in position for 1 to 2 minutes to allow the mercury to reach body temperature. The conscious adult, the temperature is taken in the mouth or in the axilla. In young children, the thermometer should be placed in the fold of groin and the thigh flexed on the abdomen. It may be inserted into the rectum. Normal temperature range is 36.3 to 37.1 degrees centigrade, and in Fahrenheit 97.3 to 98.8 degree Fahrenheit. Pulse counted. The pulse for a full minute. The pulse rate is healthy person varies from 60 to 80 beats per minute. Common cause of Rapid pulse are rapidly immediately after exercise, excitement, anxiety, bleeding, fever, thyrotoxicosis, etc. and slow pulse rate are regular exercise, sports, hypothyroidism and complete heart block. Respiration. Count the respiration for a full minute by looking at the subject's abdominal movement. When his attention is distracted from the breathing, the normal rate is an adult is 12 to 16 respiration per minute. Eye, look for pallor, exophthalmos, jaundice, etc. Neck, for enlargement of lymph node and thyroid gland. Venous distension. Pulsation of the carotid vessels, position of trachea, jugular pressure. Neck is very important for enlargement of lymph node, thyroid gland, venous distension, pulsation of the carotid vessels, position of the trachea, jugular venous pressure. And next is systemic examination. A common approach is being followed clinically for all systemic examination. It is helpful to have a logical sequence to follow, and if this is done as a matter of routine when no important points will be omitted, the suggested sequence is inspection, palpation, percussion and auscultation. First one is inspection, second one is palpation, third one percussion and fourth one is auscultation. You see the clinical book of the A.K. Jain, chapter 45, how examine the systemic examination, how systemic examination done. First one is inspection. The examination should be done ideally in a good daylight and warm room. The subject must be at easy and fully relaxed. Completely exposure the part of the body to be examined. Observe the part of the different position before a discussion is made. It means the art of observing the following conditions should be taken care of before an inspection is carried out on a subject. And the palpation. Stand on the subject right side and examine the test procedure to him beforehand. Ensure your hands are warm and then you will be as gentle as possible. Tell the subject to relax as best as he can. Method is given in your book. Kindly see in your book. And the percussion method you must see in your book. And character of the sound. Hollow viscera which contain a gas give a note sound which is described as a tympanic. It is a musical character. A viscous like lung in which air is trapped in tiny compartment gives a note described as resonant. It is a low pitch and clear in character. And sound solid viscera which contain no air and made up of soft fleshy material or fluid give a note which is described as a dull. It is of a high pitch, of a short duration and can be heard only in close surrounding. So the three sounds in percussion, first one is tympanic, second one is resonant and third one is dull. And last one is auscultation by the stethoscope. In previous class you know about the stethoscope, and the diaphragm is suitable for the auscultation of high pitch and sharp sound such as heart sound and breath sound in adult. The bell is suitable for the auscultation of the low pitch and loud sound such as third and fourth sound and breath sound in children. Method given in your book. The diaphragm of the stethoscope should be placed lightly on one place and kept there until sound are heard. It should not be moved from place to place. One must listen for several minutes before he come to any conclusion. Therefore, Skill in auscultation depend on the ability to concentrate over one portion of the sound at a time. Important questions for your Viva. What conditions should be fulfilled before your proceed to do a clinical examination on a subject? Why is natural light performed over artificial light to do a clinical examination? What is the clinical significance of general physical examination? What will happen if palpation is carried out with a cold hand? What is percussion? Give the basis of percussion notes. Why should percussion always be carried out from resonant or tympanic area towards the dull area? What are components or functions of the functions of the stethoscope? What should be direction of the ear knob while putting them in ear? Very important, very important. Kindly see your book, Dr. A.K. Jain, page number 205 and chapter number 49. Thank you.